Hello everybody, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing better. It's about ready to roll some cigarettes and I thought I'd roll them while I'm talking, but then I put my head down a lot to see what the heck I'm doing. So I thought, well, I got a couple here. I'll just, before the light gets too bad, say hello. And, oh, I had some things on my mind, but one thing I can tell you is a fact. If I make a friend, I'm an honest friend. Um, the only time that you could ever offend me is if you actually didn't want to be my friend. Well, then that would be that, and I let it go. You know, I don't chase after anybody, and I don't want anybody trying to buffalo me either. You know. Oh, I itched my nose. Hey, lady. Just kidding. I don't really care. I'm not vain like that. So, um, yeah, it turned out to be an okay day, you know. Yeah, I do have allergies too. I just thought I felt a cat hair. Ah. Could you imagine though living in the country without a cat to kill the mice? What would you do? You would have to kill them yourself. Um, I had a long time ago some of them gooey traps you put in, um, and then you have to okay, this, oh, it was terrible. There was feet stuck to the gooey trap. It's like, oh, enough of that one. And then a regular mouse trap, they're grody and gory. And then I had tiny little live traps for mice. And it's like, ugh, you know, cats are better. They get it, they corner it, and then, well, she'll kill it. And then we usually like throw it in the stove, you know. In the summer, I'll go throw it in the woods, put a glove on or wrap it up in a towel and burn it or whatever, paper towel. And so, but yeah, because they do carry different diseases and stuff for sure. So, anyway, yeah, so if I'm somebody's friend, I'm a friend for life unless you don't want it to be so, then, that's the way that is. So, I mean, if you're a crappy person and I find out, well, that wasn't a friend to begin with, so who gives a, you know. So, yeah, it was really cool. My friend Linda from Facebook came over. So cool. She's got some really cool music over on her page. I think you would pronounce it Matowis. Um, he does reggae. I've heard him before, probably from Linda passing him around on Facebook. I don't know. Yeah. And also, we're in the impasse zone together. Of course, I haven't been over there for a long time. I don't know if you have, Linda, but they're a bunch of bozos just trying to sell their concoctions and do their witchcraft. And I attacked them over there. You know me. What can I say? If you're against people's life and um, being loving, truly loving, not that fake crap, the kind of love that's passionate, that you will get angry, but it's a controlled anger, that type of course, like me on Facebook, you'll know, like, I'm like, die, 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 my darlings. You know, I get upset with people, so you know me. What can I say? You know, I am what I am. you know, but yeah, so cool you're here, so then you can comment. Really cool. I was thinking, I wonder if she's getting sick of that Facebook crap because they limit you so bad. And if you really got something to say, you can get on here and spit it out. And I didn't mean to call you baby. You're a marvelous woman. You're um, so strong, and I have admiration for your love of God and um, your knowledge. And right on. You're not a baby, but kind of, you know, you know. I love you. So I love all my friends. I really do. I'm fortunate. I believe I have some really, really good ones. And then I was thinking, after I thought about women humbling themselves to women, or men to a woman, or and men with men. There's sayings like bros before hoes and stuff. That's not humbling or talking in real life. That's nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Real men, they do talk, and it is a humble thing. So, and it's really nice to see when it's done right. You know where I'm going with that. So, yeah. Fortunately, Doug has a friend named Brad Dutcher, and he is a really nice man. And his wife Sue, she's a beautiful woman. The only thing I can say is, no offense, Susie, I love you. She's Catholic, and I'm not gonna harp on the woes of being any religion. You are what you are doesn't make you bad, because you still have beliefs in rituals that actually, and that's another thing too, where the Illuminati plays on the part of the Testament of Revelations, where they don't go back into the Old Testament. They dwell in the New more. Well, in the Old Testament, you have the Ten Commandments and the seven deadly sins and the six things that God hates. All these things in there, and it has let's see what else was pertinent. Well, the names, the actual record of the names of people, following them and following their names. You can follow the Cain bloodline in the Old Testament, and it gets a little monotonous. But it's like knowing people up and down your block or something. It's like blah blah, this person, that person. Then you find out this person married that one, or in a little town, that kind of situation. If you look at it like that, it makes it a little easier to read. So except that there was two Johns, and Enoch. Satan wrote Enoch. It doesn't mean that God didn't guide him, you know, but it does mean that there's tricks in and out of them, the words of any Bible in any country, because of what they're trying to do to us. Keep you in cities and towns and make you work for them. Well, guess what? This girl don't work for nobody. And whenever I didn't like something, I'm out of there. I've always been like that. You just can't tell me what to do ever. I'll walk out in the damn woods before I let somebody tell me what to do ever. I've always been like that. And one person told me, well, I can't hire you unless I see you didn't give notice in this circumstance. And I'm like, look, if something's really bad in my life, I'm not going to give you notice. I'm just telling you straight up. You either want my expertise in this area, or I'm out of here right now. So I walked out the door, and she runs after. Oh, and she wanted me to fill out an application. I said, I'll give you my social security number, and I told you where to call for my references. If that's not good enough, I'm sick of this crap. I've done enough paperwork in my life. And she needed help so bad, she came running out the door after me. So, and that's just kind of the way I always operated. I never have trouble getting a job anywhere I go, because I have a lot of skills. I've had to do a lot of things just to stay alive. But I never was a whore, and I never sold drugs. And, oh, I did steal. I will say I had a nervous breakdown when my kids were gone, and I got some aid I shouldn't have got, and I paid it back in full, and I spent 10 days in jail. I had it looming. I'm a con. So there's that. And I think for actually, and I could prove I actually did have an actual nervous breakdown. Well, what it was is my kids were in and out of the house. So when they did go right away, I literally could not function. I couldn't function, if anybody understands that. So anyway, and then it goes into how bad did Doug even want me around? That type of thing. It kind of went there with me too. So it goes really, really deep. So, yeah. But anyway, when my kids were gone at first, I took a shotgun and I lay down on the bed with it and I was going to blow my head off. And then I thought, well, if they come back or they need me in the future, which did happen, I wouldn't be there for them. And then there was another time after they started screwing up and doing really bad drugs and didn't want me around because I didn't want them dirty and I couldn't deal with it, that I took a bunch of Valium that Doug has. And he didn't really give a shit at first, but I told him, I said, they'll probably blame you because they're your drugs. So I said, why don't you make me a pot of coffee? And he did. I kind of did that on purpose too. So I'm just telling you straight up, I'm not like a preacher. I just actually got ordained and licensed. So in case my stepdaughter needed me to, uh, she was getting married and the minister didn't want to marry her and her husband in his church because he had been married before. And I don't know if he had done the ceremony at that time for him, but he did. So, and I was going to say all this right away. I'm right now at the point where, well, see, if I had just got on here and said, hey, I'm an ex-con, listen to me, the Illuminati screwing you over with words, and this is how they're doing it, and I'm a bullshit detector, that type of thing, who was really going to listen to me, you know? So, I don't know. Am I ashamed? Mm, I'm ashamed of stealing for 300 and some dollars. It was 1,300 jail time and a record. Like I say, I probably could go in and have that turned around because it was really a evil time in my life that was laid upon me. I never dreamed in a million years that a judge would grant who they granted my children to. So that's all I got to say. I know I was wrong, but I'm putting the blame on Satan in that situation. And I know a lot of people that are in that situation, have been in that situation, you know, where your life's so downtrodden. He's like standing on top of your head, and the only thing you can do to get some air is try to breathe, you know. So I did put my head on straight and wasn't doing drugs. Went to Walmart and got a job. And then, so when they did bust me, I told the truth in the discovery. And the dude said, it's the first time I've ever heard the absolute truth out of anybody. And I said, well, I don't really have anything to lie about. You know, it wasn't like I stabbed somebody and I was trying to hide. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't run or anything. I just did what I did, got healthy, and tried to fix it, is what I did. So there's a little more on me. Um, yeah, well, that's that. Oh, and one other thing, I've never been a narc. So if anybody on here is trying to bring other people down or whatever, leave me the fuck out of it, please. I've had enough shit. I just don't need any more shit, okay, guys? People, really, friends, honestly, please leave me alone. You know, that was like the Rolling Stones song, My 19th Nervous Breakdown. Well, I would call it more like 1900th or more. So I watched my ex get wired up for a drug bust in front of my children in my kitchen, and there was absolutely nothing I could do about it except that was in Wyoming. in Sheridan, Wyoming. And I'm still not quite sure what he did. It was probably something to do with cocaine, which I hate. That song's me. She don't like cocaine. So I got my kids the hell out of there and came back to where I knew, at least I knew some people in my life. Not really anybody that gave a shit, but at least I grew up here. So it was familiar in that respect. So, and I had one son born in Roundup, Montana. Luke was, and John was born in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Oddly enough, one of the men that destroyed my son, Jonathan, lives in Coon Rapids. That's very odd, but and I'm going to be putting his name up here too because he didn't have charges pressed on him. But he had charges pressed on him, but they weren't. It happened more than once, and it is kind of on his record, but he didn't do time. It's like when he had a bunch of Valium back in the day. He had which I didn't ever do downers. So when I did that one time with Doug, um, I probably I might have been okay. I don't know exactly how much it would have took. I took what, I don't know, 6, 8 of them or something, and I think they were the little ones. They might have been. I don't know. Don't remember. But yeah, I wanted to die. I'll admit it. Anyway, when you're a mom and you work hard for your children and try to keep them away from evil, and I tried to tell people that they were going into a life of real evil while they started getting up in the morning, drinking beer just like him, smoking a doobie, and doing all the drugs, going to whorehouses and all the things that a real parent doesn't do with their children. Plus, he's a pedophile, bisexual. And I caught him, and I can't prove all this. And I took my kids in and tried to get them to say, and they didn't want to hurt their father. Well, someday they'll realize. But anyway, and then another extreme, I was gonna bust somebody, and that's right when my kids got taken away from me, so they wouldn't be there to testify, and that's Illuminati. So my nervous breakdown was actually real. So it wasn't my personality to be a dishonest bitch, but I do blame Satan. I really do. Feeling dirty is disgusting to me. Then I know somebody that did way too much time for a crime that was just, and what they made him do and the shit they made him do, that's immorally unjust in more ways than one, unless I'm mistaken on that, but I don't think I am. I hope I'm not. I've been wrong, but not usually. Usually when I like somebody, I do like them, no matter what anybody says. My feelings are usually pretty right on. So it's like somebody that wanted to meet me for dinner or lunch or whatever and party with me. I knew she did not want to be my friend. That type of thing. And then this guy that she likes, and I somewhat admire him. He can be a dork, but he has potential. Let's just put it that way. I hope. But she's like, go get him, and I'm thinking, ooh, whoa, where'd that come from? Why don't you go get him? I don't even talk to him. you know. She actually called him and talked to him. It's like, well, you can call him if you're so worried about it. I didn't. He said anybody can call him. Well, I haven't. So, Anyway, I don't feel sorry for her. She did not have good intent with me. Something was up there. I think she's lonely. She even said that. And, people get lonely. Hey, I do too. But, I'm not going to settle for less than a friend than what I want just because I'm flipping lonely. Heck with that. That's just not me at all. I can do that. If I don't like you, I'm like, dude, I do not like you. Get out of here. And if they sit there, I'll be like coming towards you, you know. And I have thrown people out of my house. One time I missed, and he went through a window, and I went to catch him. Um, and then I threw him out the door. I just cracked the window though, so I had to fix my own window. So, and another time, dude was hitting on me in front of this old lady, and I threw him out the door into the lawn. He went flipping sailing, and he was quite a bit bigger than me, and it surprised him. Well, first I smacked him upside his head. That surprised him. Then I grabbed him and manhandled him over to the door and threw him out on his face, and dude went sailing. And we had been friends since we were like 15 years old. That did surprise him, but he knew better than to fight with me. So, also an Aquarian, but gutless. So, and I'm not brave because I'm stupid. I'm brave because I'm a master, you know. So, about the only thing I can't really master, and I don't get angry even if I'm fighting. That's too much energy to be wasted. I'm too busy concentrating on the win than to get angry. Like, I hate these people. I used to hear this. I see red and I black out, and oh, what beautiful colors you see. While I'm going to kick your ass. You know what I mean? You hear these people, I see red. What the hell is that? Go ahead, see red. I see pink. You know, that's funny. Anyway, I just thought I'd get on here and share a little more about my life with you. And like I say, I'm not proud of wrong things I do in my life. I've done them all. The only thing I haven't done is kill. So, and I have killed animals. So, not my favorite thing to do. So, and I didn't never take that lightly. In fact, my heart suffers for it all the time. You know, so that's the way that is. But I do know we're forgiven for all the things we do. It's not, I think people should judge each other in their lives. I think you do have the right to ask of a person who they are and what they're all about. If they're in your life, they're in your life, for whatever reason. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that there's something that my friends are saying to me and something I'm saying to them that we need to hear for whatever the reason. I really think that, you know. I think I got mad at somebody yesterday and told him to retract his shit, and I think he unsubbed and he's going to continue working for the Illuminati. So these people that just pull shit out of the news or wherever they're pulling it out of, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe it. In fact, I saw that last night. I saw that there was so-called um, terrorism in London, and the day before there was like, what'd they say? Oh, a bomb from the Syrians near the Russian line. And I'm thinking, oh, is that right? Huh. Why don't I believe you? I was kind of thinking like that too. So, because I grew up, well, first I married a Korean vet, a murderer, and then Special Forces dropped him down in, and he was in prison there for almost 3 years eating raw chicken. Oh, poor thing. Poor little killer. And then I knew a lot of Nam vets were my friends. I was out there protesting when I was like 12 years old, and the Illuminati that raised me, boy, were they bummed. Their daughter out there picketing. Oh my God, did they gank me off that street? Then I picketed our teachers too because we were going to have to go to summer school because they went on strike. and I had stuff I wanted to do that summer. And I was in 6th grade, and I was doing okay. I was a crossing guard. I was a junior fire chief. I had taken a whole bunch of Red Cross courses starting my medical career. And other things I kept busy. I took like a knitting class, and um, like I said, I was in band and, you know, ballet and jazz and different things. Busy, busy campfire girl, and, you know, doing and making stuff. And I got this vest with all these beads and silver and different merits that I got from like completing the whole thing. And just like everybody was jealous because I got a bunch of big beads they didn't achieve. And well, hey, if you can't make a fire, you shouldn't be a campfire girl, right? That's the way I looked at it. Like, and we had to make like our own meal out there and all this stuff, different things, you know. We had to accomplish. We did a lot of arts and crafts and stuff in school and in Campfire Girl, which was really cool. I loved that. So, and sports, every single sport. Thought, yeah, I've just about done every sport. So I can't. Well, polo. I have not played polo. Yeah. Well, kind of maybe with my horse, but she wasn't too happy. I did smack something with a stick off her back one time and sort of pissed her off. But I had this one little black horse named Spade, and she was so fast. The one I have now is really, really fast too, but she's old. But Spade was so flipping fast. I had this one straight dirt road I'd take her on and just like let her run her little brains out. She was beautiful. She looked like Black Beauty, and her tail and her mane were long, and she had one little white spot right there, looked like a spade. So, yeah, and that's how she got her name. My cousin named her. She was my cousin's horse. So when they went to tear down the farm where this horse lived, I had to. Well, that then I bought, we got a horse for me. My parents did. So, yeah, and we weren't really well to do. Well, they were, but they saved stuff and they were Illuminati. And but I wore secondhand clothes and I sewed a lot of my clothes, and I was basically their flippin' slave. So I didn't have a life of leisure at all. I never had a moment of peace. There was never a day where there wasn't hollering and chaos and bullshit and crying, even from the mom, and my brother was retarded and all the above. It was a crazy life. The only normalcy I had was my grandpa next door. His name was Vaughn Duchesne, French guy, and um, not my blood grandpa, but he did take care of me better than anybody did. So, yeah, or stick up for me if he saw baloney happening, which was good too. And I was a good girl for him too, because I'd help him clean his house. And when the relatives would come over for Christmas and stuff, I'd go help him set everything up and bake for him, and um, cookies and stuff that he loved for Christmas. And then help him clean up the mess when everybody went, because they weren't very good at being real family, that type of thing. You know, they all had so much money, you know. So millionaires and la di da crap that I hated. Oh my God, was it hard to go over there with them people? It was like excruciating, even for my dad too. The two of us, we'd just sit there till the very last minute, you know. I like some of my little cousins and a couple of the older ones, but for the most part, it was really hard to go over there. And a couple aunts and uncles sort of treated me like family, but you know, there I heard a joke. It is so true. Being adopted and going to a family get together is like bringing a store bought cake when everybody else has a homemade one, and that's what it feels like. So, you know, if that makes sense, because I love that saying. That makes sense to me, and it is true. I've heard a lot of adopted kids lie and say they were comfortable. And some kinda are because they don't know any better. But I knew better from day one. God told me, these people are weirdos and creeps, and this is what you got to do here, this is what you got to do there. And when I started studying this stuff and they put them papers before me on the table in the lodge and all the rituals and shit I went through, it was so mixed up, retarded, and I don't know what drugs they had me on, what they did. They even tried to get me to take tranquilizers because I was sort of hyper, but I don't think I was really hyper. I was just strong and active, and it's my personality, so it's like, nah. So I just kind of refused after a while. It's like everything seems so. Of course, when you're sad too, everything seems dark, you know. So when you find Christ in your life, things do brighten up. Whoa, and then did you see that? Did you see the string ice? Oh, you saw it. Yes, that's Christ. Wow. I can't wait to see this back. That's cool. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I do count my miracles. I count my blessings. There's a lot of times when I just pray for that right friend to come along or somebody to understand me in that area, you know, with not even, I'm not going to say without judgment. Yes, judge me, ask me. I don't care. Ask me anything. I don't care. I'm an open book. So, but once again, I'm only on here to tell you there's other things inside me that I got to get out. Not about what happened to me. They treat everybody like shit. But how we can protect ourselves and more of what they're doing. I mean, that's coming out in the clear too, but language is such a big deal. The English language, if you just think that 99 and 9/10 of the people out there talking are using words at you, not to you. Like they're talking with their forked tongue. So if you think like if they're saying love, they're probably thinking evil because it's backwards, 99% of the people are like that. It's not like they're going to end up like that. They are going to know better eventually. But some of them are intentionally, and I'd say at least probably 75% of the people are literally, maybe more, writing and speaking and putting out news broadcasts and all the stuff they do intentionally to set us back in any way they can set us back. So, yeah, reading the Bible is never bad, but if something seems weird, even the King James with the Old English, which I love, it's beautiful, but if it seems weird, it probably is weird. So, like, I personally, well, I can't prove that if I tell you that Moses was Satan, and they say, oh, he was told to sacrifice his son or whatever, and whatever and whatever. I can't really prove any of this at this time. Well, I can. I just don't feel like pulling out all the books that it takes. I don't have the blue book, but I have enough other ways to show you. It just takes an extreme amount of time, and I have it to have excessive energy and undivided attention in that area, which this coming winter I'll have nothing else to do because I can't get outside and do stuff. And so, yeah. So I just thought I'd tell you more about myself and take it or leave it or unsub or stay. Don't care. I am an honest woman that went crazy for a while, and I always had God in my heart. I knew right from wrong, but there was nothing I could do about it at that point in my life. So, you know, that's that. No excuse. So, that's all I'm going to say on that one. And I could probably go in and get like rights to vote that type of thing. Who cares? Or even to carry a gun, they might overturn them if you ask, if you're not if you're non-violent. But he just keeps it locked up away from me. It's not mine, never was in my name. I've never. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. I had a 20, no, a 30-30 and a 410 in my name long time ago. I was still a teenager. Let's see, anything else? No, there wasn't another one. That's it. So I got a wrist rocket if I ever wanted to have like small game if I needed to. Or I know how to fish. I'm allergic to fish, but if I needed to survive, I would survive. You know, and plus I know enough wild plants, edibles, if I had to. You know, take care of myself like that. So, well, I don't know how many of you like long videos. If you like the long ones or the short ones, maybe let me know in that area. And if there's something important that I want to tell you and you like short videos, then I'll try and put it in something a little shorter, that type of thing. So, you know, if you can let me know on the, or if it doesn't matter, if you watch like me, I'll watch part of somebody and then go back if I'm like in the middle of something, that type of thing. So, you know. Okay, I'm gonna roll my cigarettes, y'all, and then chill and peace and love from Pine City.